Thank you for watching Meatsauce Monty. I'm Matt Montgomery. He's Paul Meatsauce Lambert. Welcome back.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I missed you last week, but glad to have you back.
I have that effect on people.
You do. You do.
Blame you.
So you're gone up in Fargo.
Yeah.
I'm assuming North Dakota is doing okay.
Yeah, I thought Fargo was in South Dakota, but then when we drove into North Dakota, it was like, are we in the right spot? Turns out we were. I was wrong.
You weren't driving?
I drove half the way, but I have to be on my phone, so I made AJ drive the rest of the way. But yeah, it was a good time.
In your absence, Vikings loss.
Yeah.
To the Lions.
They
Unfortunately,
seem to be doing that a lot.
Yeah, they seem to be doing it a lot more than they should. Let's just jump right into it. We'll start off with the running back situation. Last week, Dalvin Cook, gone.
Yeah.
Torn ACL.
Yeah.
Bad luck, just random happenstance. What do you attribute that to?
I mean, you watch it, and I was there for it, and you watch something like that happen, and you think to yourself, the worst kind of injuries are the ones where there's no contact.
Yeah.
I mean, he cuts, and immediately
he was reaching for his leg before he even made
dropped
contact.
The ball and hurt so bad.
Yeah.
I saw him after the game, and he looked sad. He was in he had crutches, had a brace on. And he's such a good kid, and he falls in the draft because of the company he keeps.
Mm-hmm.
He comes in cap. Yeah, he comes in
Seems
here.
to be good now.
He looks the part. He ran that touchdown in. You're like, they have somebody. He had more yards in his first 2 games, or whatever, than Adrian Peterson did.
Yeah.
So you're going, all right, here we go. This is great. Let's do this. And then all of a sudden it's like, here we go again. I mean, they lost their running back last year to basically the same thing, and their quarterback. And now it's the same thing literally over again that they have to deal with. So
let's sum up.
I think it's bad luck.
Let's sum up the running back situation. So Stephen Ridley, former Patriot,
who's
and
been on
Denver.
like every team.
He had a good career as a Patriot, and then it seems like he just was shuffled around from everybody.
Yeah.
Cut this year by Denver Broncos. Does adding him, is it just showing that we need more options, or does it show that we have absolutely no faith in Latavius Murray, who might not be 100% because of that ankle surgery, or in Jerick McKinnon?
I think it's a depth thing, if anything. I would
think
bet
we just
money.
need him?
Yeah, I would bet money on Monday that Stephen Ridley will be inactive.
Oh, okay.
I bet he's just a body. He's a practice squad body. I mean, if you go through his Wikipedia, he's been on like 3 different teams since like May or something.
Yeah.
The Lions picked him up, and then they cut him, and then he went to Denver and they cut him, and he's been all over. But I think he's just a body at this point. Latavius Murray looks old. McKinnon is kick returning and all this other stuff.
Let's go back to Latavius Murray.
They're in trouble if he's their lead back.
Do you think they're in trouble just because where he's at right now because of the ankle, or you think even if he was 100% healthy that we'd be in trouble?
Well, I think they're in trouble for this reason, because when they got Latavius Murray, before they got Dalvin Cook, I think they were going to basically kind of run the same offense they ran with Adrian, because a lot of people who I've talked to and a lot of people that know way more about it than I ever will say that Latavius is like an Adrian Peterson light, where you got to give him the ball.
Feed him to be successful.
Right. It's not just this thing where it's like like with Cook, where you can forget about him for a little while, you can throw him out in the backfield. You got to feed Murray, and that's not the offense they run. They run this kind of quick shoot, kind of a one-off of the West Coast offense.
It opens up the passing with Dalvin Cook.
A little wide open, a little bit of a
Latavius.
college offense they kind of run with the pistol and Bradford. Murray is, if you never had drafted Dalvin Cook, fine. Then they take all offseason, but he was hurt all offseason, so he never really got into it. Ridley, I still think, and this is, you got to trade for somebody. Go out and get somebody. The Adrian Peterson thing's stupid because there's too many people in the front office or just in that organization that don't want him back.
No.
And I don't think many of I think his teammates or a couple, they would never say it, but I don't think a couple of his teammates want him back.
They wouldn't want him in the locker room.
Yeah, plus he's horrible. He's washed up in New Orleans. He had 4 carries for 4 yards last week.
He's angry. He might be motivated. But at the same time,
we thought the same thing on Monday night. He had that 9-yard run, his first run. I think he had 20 or 30 yards total.
Let's go back to Latavius. So last year, when he was a Raider, he ranked 21st in the league in total yards, 5th in the league. He had 12 touchdowns, and in the fantasy perspective, he was the 13th scoring running back. So he could be functional
Sure.
It's just a matter of would he fit in our system the same way he did with Oakland.
Well, I think he changes the system. With Oakland, too, it was a lot of goal line carries. They used him a lot at the goal line.
He was a bruiser.
He changes the system here because with Bradford, it's Bradford's offense, and when Bradford's in there, we don't know when.
Right.
But they run that kind of quick pace offense. With Murray, you got to go back to that like two-back set, double tight end, and run it. And as Pete Bursich brilliantly said on the broadcast, when Murray caught that outlet, he looked like the Titanic making a U-turn. I mean, he's just so slow.
That slow?
And who knows? It may be the ankle, but how long has that been? I mean, they signed him.
I believe it was March, wasn't it?
Right. That's 6 months, 7 months.
Plenty of time to heal.
Correct. Yeah.
Let's talk about our wide receivers. If I were to tell you that Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen were compared to the Colts of 2010,
Yeah.
Reggie Wayne and Austin Collie,
Yeah.
this is the first time this is now receiving yards. That the same team receiving yards are in the 1 through two out of the 3 in the top 3. That team was quarterbacked by Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Would you ever think that Case Keenum, or I know that Sam Bradford only had 1 game, but that statistically the Vikings could be in company with a Peyton Manning-led team?
I think that's
after week
cool.
4.
I think it's cool, but it's going to go down. It's
Now
going
that
to
we
go
lose
down
Dalvin
without
Cook,
Cook.
it's going to go down.
Because that whole thing was dictated through Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook was a special player. He'll come back. ACLs aren't like they used to be, where it was like this devastating knee injury. Sure. As soon as that swelling goes down, they'll clean it up, and I bet he'll be back out. Big picture, if they do, you could maybe, I don't know, if they made the Super Bowl, I mean, you never know. But, I mean, it's a 6-month injury now.
Let's not put that timeline.
But still, though,
that is an amazing.
Sure, but it's a 6-month injury now as opposed to a year. I mean, think about it. Adrian Peterson tore how many of his ligaments, and he won the MVP next year, and he tore it at the end of the year, though. But he tore it in December. He tore it in
last game of
December.
the regular season, right?
So, yeah, they're not going to the Super Bowl. This is a 4-win team.
You think so?
Yeah,
really?
without
Now,
Dalvin Cook,
you think
yes.
one player makes
they
that
won't
difference?
win in Chicago. They can't. They don't
You're
win in Chicago.
supposed to save your picks for the end of the show,
sure,
but fine. You already
yeah, well, they
showed
won't win
your
in
hand.
Chicago, and they won't win against Green Bay. So they'll be 2-4. They're not good. They're just not.
Wow.
And Case Keenum's going to have to keep playing. Well, they're bad.
Well, let's go to, quarterback situation.
Yeah.
Sam Bradford, day-to-day practice,
Yeah, he won't
limited.
play. John Gruden's basically come out and said he won't play.
Yeah.
So he won't. It'll be Keenum again, and Keenum's terrible.
Keenum
was terrible on Sunday. He was terrible.
He was not terrible on Sunday.
He overthrew Kyle Rudolph, who's 6'10".
Okay. 16 of 30, 220 yards, but 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Sure.
He didn't lose us the game on Sunday.
No.
The defense played well enough
He also
to win.
missed Thielen wide open in the end zone.
I get it, and they showed that replay 100 times of go to the corner, he was wide open. However, that game was still, those turnovers, the stupid jet play with McKinnon and the fumble.
That was stupid.
And then,
what are you doing with that?
ACL, and boom, drops the ball.
But he said, though, after when they had it down on the 5 and they got sacked, he changed the coverage.
Right.
Bradford doesn't do that.
Right.
So that's a rookie mistake.
Well,
the thing about Keenum that everybody gets so excited about is he looked good against a deflated Tampa Bay D. You and I could have played cornerback for that team. I mean, they had Levant. McCoy was out constantly. Their cornerbacks are terrible. Their safeties are bad. He did it against a bad defensive Tampa team.
You're taking away. You could be positive with the Vikings.
No, but
instead, you're like, we're good against losers.
Well, they were. I mean,
it was a good game. They looked good.
They looked good. They scored 7 points.
They looked fine against Detroit, minus
they
those
looked
2
bad
turnovers.
Against Detroit. How do you look good when you score 7 points?
The 2 turnovers that they had, that I mentioned.
They looked good.
I know they had a third late with Thielen.
The quarterback. Well, he dropped the ball. That sucked.
Yes,
I love
Thielen. What you said before about Keenum changing the coverage, offensive line, that was one of the major concerns coming into this season. The offensive line so far has only given up 5 sacks, and the one that you mentioned wasn't even their fault.
Yeah.
Last year, they gave up 35 sacks on the season. This year, right now, 5, which ranks 3rd in the NFL. So the offensive line is not necessarily a concern right now.
And think about it. Think about if you had said that in August. If you'd said, I'll tell you right now, in October, the Vikings' offensive line will be the least of their worries. And that's
nobody would
minus
believe
the
you.
defensive line. But, yeah, the offensive line, I mean, even in preseason, when we saw Remmers get run around, you're like, here we go again, but yeah.
But they're solid. So let's start to preview the Monday night game, taking on the Bears. The Bears making their quarterback change. Glennon out, Mitch Trubisky, rookie. Is that something that we should either A, think we're going to dominate because he's a rookie, our defense is strong enough that we're going to keep him in check the whole game? Or is it B, we should be extremely worried because we have no tape on this kid?
Well, I think
his college system is different. This is his first start under the big lights of Monday night. Is he going to be so pumped that it doesn't matter who he's facing?
Yeah, and you worry about that. The only time he's the only tape you have on him is in the preseason against second, third, and fourth team guys.
Right.
Yeah, and it's the thing. That's a big thing. But once you maybe get adjusted in the second half, maybe you'll find some. I think Mitch Trubisky, once he gets against that defense, and the Bears are bad, but the Vikings always struggle in Chicago.
Absolutely.
Once that and they're going to pressure him. You have to pressure him. You got to put him in situations. You can't let him stand back there. Mitchell Trubisky's a great quarterback. It was in college.
Do you call him Mitchell or Mitch?
Isn't it Mitch now?
Well, you can call him whatever.
Yeah,
you said Mitchell. I say Mitch.
Doesn't he want to be as Mitch, or does he want to be Mitchell?
I don't know.
Because I think before the draft, he's like, call me Mitchell.
Really? He wanted the formality.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Just call him Mitch.
But they played a week ago. They played last two
Thursdays ago. They get a little extra.
Right,
yep.
So they've had this time, and I'm sure right after the game, they were like, all right, we're going to Trubisky. So they took Friday off, maybe Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all of this week with him.
Get him prepped, and he's ready to go.
So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. It'll be a different thing, but they're devastated at wide receiver. They're the Bears.
Running back,
but
Jordan Howard.
But
I'm not too afraid
the
of them.
09 team lost to the Bears in Soldier Field, so it's a tough place to play.
Let's look at the Bears quarterback situation. Do you remember just over a year ago when Teddy went down, the speculation of who we were going to pick up? Mike Glennon was one of the top names. Right behind him, Sanchez, who's their third stringer.
Yeah.
And now Trubisky is passing both of them. Could you imagine if we would have gone for the bare minimum and got Glennon or Sanchez instead of making the move to get Bradford?
Glennon's paid about $15 million.
I'm not sure of the contract,
really
but
good money.
Way too much.
They signed him to that $45 million deal in the offseason, and everybody was going, what? And then they go out and draft Trubisky with the second overall pick, and you're going, what are they doing? They paid Glennon all this money, and now if you're Glennon, you're going, I want to be traded.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe you will, but you got to see what you have in Trubisky against a first team as opposed to a second or third team. But
and against the Vikings defense, that's going to be a good test.
Yeah, for him, and we'll see if they. I mean, the defense now, and they'll never say it because I was in the locker room on Sunday, and they always say it's a team game. Mm-hmm. You only give up 14 points on defense, you should win.
That's what I said.
Should have won on Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But there's extra pressure now on that defense. The defense has to play better.
The defense will hold.
Well,
I'm not worried about that.
The offense can't score any points, though. Now they're without their best running back.
Their wide receivers are still there.
Well, yeah, but the wide receivers are good because of the running back.
Is there anything else we want to talk about Monday night's game? We're gonna shift gears to our.
No, I have nothing else.
We'll do our picks here at the end of the show, so stick around for that.
Okay.
We go wall to wall now here on the CW Twin Cities.
We do.
We do. Beginning to end, just you and me.
Okay.
Enough Meatsauce Monty.
I've never gone beginning to end.
All right. Let's talk. We'll do Lynx first. Los Lynx.
Yeah.
4 WNBA championships in 7 years. Would you call this a dynasty?
Absolutely.
I agree. You see, 4 championships in 7 years is an amazing run.
Lindsay Whalen is the best Minnesota-born athlete of all time.
Nice.
Of all time. What a great story. She wins her 4th NBA championship. WNBA championship in Williams Arena, where she was so dominant in college. She's so good and so clutch. And then Maya Moore, I think I read it the other day on the Power Trip, is the championship she's won. Like 4 WNBA championships. I think she won 2 or 3 in college. Maya Moore is sweet. That whole team is sweet. They're so well coached. I love Cheryl Reeve. I couldn't be more proud of them. That place was packed. They were, they kind of got shipped around during the season from Target Center to Excel
and now
to Williams Arena, which is perfect. The barn was perfect. It was super loud.
Agreed.
Lindsay came out and said that like it's loud. Well, it's the barn. Yeah.
They should try to sign up right now and say we don't want Target Center renovated. We want to stay at the barn.
Yeah,
they
it's a
filled
sweet
it
venue.
To capacity. It looked great. It sounded great.
The Gopher basketball men's team would kill for a crowd like that.
It was awesome.
It was sweet.
Highest ratings for the WNBA Finals since 2003.
Good.
It was a great series. It helps that the Lynx are so well supported by the local fans. But
and
also,
they have an LA team.
They were playing LA.
Yeah, that
if they would have been
works,
playing, Indiana or Atlanta.
But they got a
Phoenix,
rival now.
Absolutely.
Every league needs a rival. Every sport needs one, and they have one. That was a great basketball game to watch. And they're, they're
It was
just,
a great series, to be honest.
I only watched last night. I mean,
watched
I'm
five?
not. Well, yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
I'm not going to pretend I watched all of it, but I couldn't be more proud of that squad.
They're
just
awesome.
they're fun to watch, and they're all excellent people. Lindsay
They're-
Whalen's one of the
absolutely.
best people. Maya Moore's great. Simone's great. They're all
Off the
great
court,
people.
they do so much for the community.
Oh yeah.
Probably the last question I'll ask about this. We've talked about it before. Cheryl Reeve. Do you think she should try? And I don't want to say this for just to be the first, but do you think that she should try to become an NBA head coach? And I don't want to say for the trivial nature of, oh, we've got a female head coach in the NBA, because she is honestly capable and she is a good coach.
Yeah, you wonder though. She is, and she's a great motivator. And you listen to her, and we have her on all the time, and she's on the fan all the time. And you listen to her, and you go, oh my God, like she's very motivating. You like listening to her. If you're going to go down that route, wouldn't you say Gino Auriemma? I mean, the UConn coach, but it's all, I don't know. But here's the thing about, if you were Cheryl and you said, Cheryl, you can coach right now as is the New York Knicks. Do you do it? They're horrible.
I don't know.
So you
That'd
go,
be Cheryl's
okay,
decision to make.
Right, it would. But would you want to coach a 15-win team? Because in the NBA and even in the WNBA, it's a lot of coaching. It's a lot of talent. You put Case Keenum on the Patriots, you know what I mean, or you put Tyrod Taylor on the Patriots. It's a different story. But coaching is, it's not to take anything away from Cheryl. But that team she has is stacked.
Absolutely.
But would she do it? I don't know.
But she's still
more
managing the talent and doing a very good job.
Yeah, and she's great at that. She's more than capable of doing it. She should do it. I don't know if she would. I mean, she's at the top of her game in the WNBA. She's the best coach in the WNBA, and she's one of the best coaches in the country.
That's
at
exactly
any sport.
why I asked the question, because I think she is
I don't
one
know
of the
if
best.
she'd do it.
So congratulations, Lynx. We are so proud. I watched the game. It was awesome. Let's shift gears now to the Twins. You're donning their colors tonight. Their performance in New York,
horrible.
Not quite what people were expecting.
No, and you worry about him too because Mauer is 0 for 10, I think, in playoff games.
I'm not sure.
Like, his record. He's never won one.
Yes, I think that's true.
And you watch him on Sunday, or on, what was it, Monday, Tuesday, whatever it was.
Yeah.
They get up, and it's like, you watch, the best example of the Minnesota Twins on Tuesday night was, it's like buying a car just because you need a car, but you don't get it looked at or anything like that.
We did just buy a car. We needed one.
Well, yeah.
So now this analogy, I really hope doesn't come true.
No, but
I feel you're going in a bad
this
direction
is like
with
buying
this.
something online sight unseen with the Minnesota Twins. The point of it is you go and you say, all right, we're going to do this. We're going to get this guy and we're going to get this guy, but we're going to spend nothing on pitching and we're going to rely on Castro.
Yeah.
But this is what happens. Like, you watch some of these other games, like, granted, they're never going to get a Clayton Kershaw. I get that. But you watch some of these games and you go, look at these pitchers. And that's what they have. I mean, Sale for Boston got rocked. Altuve hit 3 home runs. But you watch some of it, you go, you got to have pitching. They don't have any pitching. And when what's-his-face goes out there, he looked like a little
Santana
league
is
kid.
On, they were saying his slider wasn't
God,
working.
my nose doesn't stop itching.
Are you okay? Do we need to?
My allergies are horrible. No, I'm good.
We're inside. We're at Mystic Lake. Your
I don't know. I look
allergies-
like a Coke addict.
No,
I'm not, but my nose
You're
won't
not,
stop itching.
but-
No.
Okay. Are you okay now?
Yeah,
Can we
I'm
get back to
fine.
the Twins?
Yeah.
I'm expecting you to now
I'm just so
start having
I
some
can't.
fits and be like,
I can't get it to stop itching.
All right. Somebody must be thinking about you. I've heard that's the,
Somebody probably
Yeah,
is.
there you
Somebody
go.
who I don't want to be thinking
in a bad way.
Yeah.
Irvin Santana, 2 innings, he gave up 4 runs. He had a 3-run cushion. That game could not have started any better for the
Any
Twins.
better.
Actually,
No
it
pressure.
could have. We had runners on second
Yeah,
and third.
they
We
got
could have-
another
we could
base
have
hit.
put up
Yeah.
5 runs
Yeah.
and given him even more of a cushion. However, he came out there. He'd been playing that he was calm all week.
He looked so
horrible.
He looked
He
nervous.
could not find the zone.
Yeah.
His slider, even his fastball, it's like I was a little nervous if Molitor should have pulled him and said, okay, it's an 8-inning game, it's 3-3, don't put him out there. He put him out there, he gave up another run. I don't know. I get it, it's hindsight, but he did not have his stuff. He obviously has some kind of bad mojo going on against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. He's never had a win there. Maybe he should have just got away from it and put Barrios in there right away. I don't know.
But then you look at it and you go, okay, well, when you watch what the Yankees did as opposed to what the Twins did on Tuesday, is the Minnesota Twins had this plan where it was, it's one game. You got to win or you go home.
Right.
But the Yankees have such a stacked bullpen that they didn't. I mean, maybe if it had gone extra, they would have used a starter. But the Twins bullpen is so bad, so bad that you have to bring out your number 2 starter. What was your plan if you won? What was their plan on Thursday?
Sure, would it have been,
what would they have done?
Gibson?
Gibson, right.
Probably Gibby.
And then you got to have these. I mean, then what do you do on Saturday? You start not Lariano.
Cologne?
Yeah,
or,
I mean, what do you do? I mean, they looked like looked like they got ready for a test and only studied for this one section of it.
But that's fine because we lost. It's a one game, you got to do everything.
It's something good to worry about.
However, Sano wasn't in the lineup. Castro was absolutely terrible.
Horrible.
Jimenez could have been catching and hitting. It just, their lineup was poor.
It was
even
not good.
Kenny Vargas could have been put in there instead of Grossman with the offer.
Yeah.
And then Buxton get hurt. That game was a mess. So we lost. We've now lost 13 consecutive playoff games. That ties the Boston Red Sox from 1986 to 1995, longest in MLB history. And 10 of those, I believe 10 of those, which are the Yankees, were 13-2 against the Yankees are 13-2 against the Twins in the playoffs. So if we make the postseason next year, we don't want to see New York.
Right, you got to you don't want to play a wild card game. Yeah,
no.
They have to get
win
pitching.
the Central.
They have to get pitching.
Yeah,
it's the main thing.
The lineup is fine. It's pitching.
Yeah, and they were. Didn't they hit the most home runs from like the middle of August till the end of the season? The Twins, something like that.
You got to bring those stats here.
Well, no, I'm not going to do that.
Don't ask me.
That's a lot of work. But
I only have these notes to work with.
Yeah, no.
I mean, you could ask Todd. Maybe Todd will know.
I don't know what Todd knows. But yeah, you got to get pitching.
Yeah.
So they got to go out this offseason and find somebody. Whether like Boston, and Chris Sale got rocked.
You got to spend money.
But you got to try. And they've never wanted to give up any of these prospects. At least try, because you have an ace, you have a horse on Tuesday. You win that game.
Yeah. You
got somebody you've relied on all year. You win that game. You go out and trade for Verlander like Houston did. You win that game.
Let's be quick with this. Paul Molitor sticking around. Looks like Falvey and Levine are going to keep him around.
Yeah, which
does it make
you
sense?
You have to.
I think so. Minnesota
what
fans,
do you do if
we love 103 losses to making the playoffs.
Right.
Minnesota, born and raised St. Paul, Hall of Famer. If they fired him, I think there would be a lot of Twins fans would be so upset. Season ticket sales, despite making the postseason, would probably plummet.
He's
slightly.
not their guy. That would be the only reason they move on from him. And as we've all talked about on the air and all this, is there's no Madden waiting in the wings like there was.
Who's the next guy?
Right.
Right.
What do you do?
Maybe Minkiewicz, but that's a whole different story because how they handled that.
They made a huge mess with that.
All right, time for us to move on to honest opinion. I want your honest opinion. I'm going to ask you some controversial subjects.
Okay.
Feel free to go however you want with it.
Sure.
Let's start off with the easy one, the softball. Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Quote, funny to hear a female talk about routes. Obviously, you've heard it. Did you watch the video?
I've seen the video, yeah.
To me, the nonverbals of how he just handled it, he was just like making those faces and like rolling his eyes and doing that. What is your take on Cam Newton and what he said?
If it were a radio interview, he could maybe play it off as he was saying, like, it's like it's like this,
funny.
Right? Or not even that, like.
But hearing,
meaning, like if you just heard it and you'd go, he could have played it, even though this isn't what he meant, but he could have played it off as, this is sweet. It's 2017. This is cool to have this back and forth with you, but he didn't. He comes off as a giant Todd. He comes off. Don't say it.
Even Todd was nodding his head.
And then to roll your eyes at there's. The one thing in life that you can't do is nobody's better than anybody, and that's exactly what he did. He laughs like he's got that arrogant laugh
Very
to her.
smug.
I mean,
Very
he makes
smug.
$100 million. You make $40 grand. Who are you to tell me what to do? And then afterwards, I guess it was worse. You come off as a giant a-hole when you do something like that, and then you get people question your maturity when you do something like that. And then you don't even apologize.
When they followed
you
it up,
should
she said it got
immediately
worse.
go, hey,
my bad.
And even if you, in your head, were like, well, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You can't, it's 2017. Everything's on video. Everything's recorded. You can't do that. And plus, I think something came out, I think Peter King retweeted something after the thing, and a lady that worked for SI said the best thing about working in Denver was when we first got there, Peyton Manning introduced himself to us, remembered our names. He doesn't have to do that. And I'm not saying Cam Newton has to be friends with everybody, but at least respect your fellow human being. And as much as you, in today's society, as that lacks, you can't treat other because you don't agree with them or you know, what are you asking me for?
Be respectful.
Don't be that guy.
That's all
Be
you're saying.
respectful.
Be respectful.
Yeah, don't act like that.
Very nice.
And don't roll your eyes at people. There's nothing more degrading, man or woman, than rolling. What are you, a 6-year-old?
I will do my best now to not roll my eyes when
I don't care.
when you're giving an
I'd
answer.
roll my eyes at me. And I've done it. It's the most disrespectful. I've seen more arguments in an office building or in a family situation when you go, whatever. Don't roll your eyes. It's just a disrespectful thing. Don't do that. Plus, Cam Newton sucks.
All right. Good.
Yeah, he
I like
sucks. Way to dive on the ball in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Way to be a team player.
Good.
Way to be
I'm glad I
dropped by
got you
your
going.
Yogurt.
You're getting fired.
He's
Yeah,
the
that's right. He
worst.
got dropped by yogurt.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to lose anybody else?
Protein
Under Armour,
snack.
all
Give me a
those guys?
break. He should.
You think so?
And even if to him it was a joke, in his mind he was going. But as you said,
But he
it's
didn't
the
come out?
cadence. It's the way he acts. It's the way he looks when he says it. Forget it.
And he could have come out right away and said,
said,
I'm
"Hey,
sorry."
it was a
But
joke.
He didn't.
Like,
in the private meeting,
No,
allegedly,
he was
things got
worse.
worse.
Yeah.
The league came out with a statement, and he
Right.
still hasn't,
Right.
as of our taping,
No.
he still hadn't come out and said
No.
anything. So
And he will. He'll
He's
come
making
out
it
with
worse.
some-
Yeah.
You know, the PR department will come out with something. But yeah.
All right. We're down to our final minute. Time to make our picks. So Meatsauce hasn't got a single game right this year in
Why
picks,
do you
but
keep
if you
bringing that
come
up?
to Mystic Lake on Sunday mornings from 7 a.m. to 11:45, you can win lots of money. Make those picks.
on.
Top 20 players with the most correct picks get free slot play. If you pick every winner, you could win the progressive jackpot. You could also win just $1,000 in free slot play just for entering. The guest with the most winning picks by the end of the season wins $5,000. And if you come here to make those picks and it's a home game, hop on the bus here at Mystic Lake. They give you a free complimentary bus ride to US Bank Stadium. They'll drop you off right there, and then afterward come back here, maybe play some table games and cash in on that free slot play. Another thing that's going on here at Mystic, rock, brats, and beer. Friday and Saturday, October 13th
What
and 14th.
time will that be?
5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m.
Okay.
You can party like a rock star. One of the hottest names in rock, Brett Michaels. I know you're a huge fan. Rock, brats, and beer. Friday and Saturday, October 13th and 14th.
Okay.
Vikings, Bears, Monday Night Football. Just to give you a heads up, last week, Common in your place picked the Vikings instead of the Lions. You are 0-4. I'm
He
2-2.
picked the Vikings?
Yes, he did. On this show,
He's
he
a
picked the
Lions
You can go to
fan.
YouTube. I know he is.
Yeah,
and
he picked him
he
on
thought-
the air
Yes, he did.
on Sunday afternoon.
So
what a Todd.
I'm going to be courteous to you. You get first pick. You are looking for your first win.
It's like my fantasy team. No
So-
one cares about my fantasy team. I'm going to go Chicago with a late field goal. They win.
Okay. I'm going to go opposite of you because then I think I have a bigger chance to gain. I'm going to say Vikings. You're right, though. Past 15 seasons, just 2 wins on Soldier Field for the Vikings, which is a horrible. That's the worst in the NFC North. That's worse than they do at Detroit.
Right.
That's worse
Think
than
about
Green
even
Bay.
in Green Bay,
You
yeah.
can go to Lambeau and win better
Yeah, I
than
think
Soldier
PA's
Field.
seen 1 win in all the
Hideous.
years he's been broadcasting.
Hideous.
1.
But I'm going to say Vikings. I think the defense absolutely shuts down Trubisky.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of their offense, and I'm not too scared of their defense either. So
Well,
I'm going to
that's
say
good.
Vikings.
You're an adult. You
Then I'm
shouldn't
going to
be
go
afraid
3-2,
of a
and you're going to be
defense.
0-5
That's
or
fine.
1-4
Who
and
cares?
2-3, and then we're both
Fine. Even
losing.
the losers
All right.
get lucky sometime.
All right. Remember,
Peace out, Tom Petty.
we've got our exclusive web content on our YouTube
That's
channel, so
it?
check that out. This is it for the CW. All right. We'll see you back here next Sunday morning.